Hello everyone, welcome to Crafting with the Crafty Chick. Thank you so much for joining me. And right now we are going to be doing project number 2 for September fall project. So I want to tell you this is a case project, and we are casing this from another Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Her name is Chris Slogar. She actually is an Ohio demonstrator, so her blog is Buckeye Inklings, and we are casing this whole project from her. The only thing I have done different is she did I think it was a big sunflower and a little sunflower, where we're going to be doing 2 small sunflowers instead of a big one and a small one. And so this is a post-it note holder, and open it up. And so here is your post-it note paper pad, and just telling somebody, just, what a nice reminder if you need to get a piece of scrap paper and write something. Just a reminder that somebody loves you, somebody thinks about you, and what a great way to put a smile on someone's face, right? It's the little things, guys, the little things. So I want to tell you also that this ink color on our background stamp and our sentiment is one of our new ink colors, which is Bumblebee. It is very, very close in color to Stampin' Up's color of Crushed Curry. They are very, very similar. In fact, the background paper that we use is actually Crushed Curry, because I did not have Bumblebee on hand, and so it's very similar. You can't really tell the difference between the two. So if you're on the fence about getting Bumblebee, just know that Crushed Curry is a very good alternative replacement as well. And then, so the sunflower, I'm really having a lot of fun with these sunflowers. We're going to be doing 2 projects with the sunflowers. And so here is the sunflower bundle that we're going to be using, called Celebrate Sunflowers. The detail on these flowers is absolutely stunning. I just love them, and they're a really nice size. That's a project I did a couple weekends ago for Samantha. She wanted me to make her a caramel apple, so this was my first attempt, and I realized that I need to maybe come down, longer droops of caramel. But I told her I would try, so this is my first attempt, and I forgot I put it in here. Okay, anyway, moving on. So here is our stamp, and as you can see, that is a nice size flower. Let's see if I can kind of give you a rough measurement here. So it's about 3.5 inches wide, the big sunflower is, so it's a really, really nice size. And then the smaller one, so let's see which way this lines back up in here. Okay, if I can't get it, I will just put it away later. Trying to line it up. Nope. Okay, we will do that later. And then you have the small sunflower. And these are super fun to color with the Stampin' Blends. And they also have the coordinating dies to cut them out. So I definitely recommend you stamp your flower first and then die cut it out. And if you're going to color, I would stamp it, color it in, and then die cut it out. And so there's 2 different pieces with the big sunflowers. This is your outline. And even though we're not using this on this project today, we do have another project, the next video. So I'm just going to show you really quick while we have all of this out. If you look at your die, let me find my petals here. So there is a good way to figure out where to line this up. I've got to find my petals. There is, oh, here we go. Nope, I thought I had it. Okay, No, that goes over here. Anyway, I will come back to that. There is a place on the stamp where you have 3 petals that are very similar, just kind of in shape and size, and so you want to look for those 3 petals, and so on your die you're looking for the same thing, for those 3 petals to just line it up. There we go, I found it. So what we're looking for is a 1, 2, 3, and you know that that's where you want to line up your die against your stamped image to die cut it out. It just makes it really simple. Some people take a black Sharpie marker and just kind of put a dot on wherever they want to line it up on both their stamp and their die, just so it eliminates that guessing or taking the time to, oh, I need to go this way or that way. You just follow your dot and you're there every time. So, okay. And then this one is, I don't have one in front of me, but this is what I call an overlay piece. And so on an upcoming project for October, we're going to be making a card, and this piece is early espresso overlaid on top of your sunflower. Really, really beautiful. Okay. And also the small sunflower does have a die that you can die cut out as well, which has both the flower and the leaf. So you see there's 2 leaves there. It will die cut that whole piece out. And then you can see there's a few extra pieces as well in the big leaf, which also has a stamp. And then this stamp is 1, so both of these leaves are 1 stamp, and there is a die for that one as well. So really, really fun set. I did not have a sunflower stamp set or bundle, and so when this one came out, I thought, okay, I need to add one to the collection. Okay, so we're going to put these away. We don't need the dies today. So, Celebrate Sunflowers, and I think it's on page 13 of the annual Stampin' Up! Catalog. Okay. And these are, I think they're 3 by 3. Let's see. 3 1/8 by 3 1/8. Post-it notepad, and it's pretty thick. There's quite a few pieces on here. And so the first thing you're going to do if you want to make these on your own is, so this is a piece of crushed curry base, and this is 3 1/4 by 7 inches, and you're going to score at 3 1/4 and 3 5/8, and that just kind of gives you the middle piece, which will line up with the top of your Post-it note holder. So basically it's going to be flush with that. I hope that makes sense. So, but before you actually attach your Post-it note holder, we're going to do our assembly of the front first. And so your first layer is going to be soft suede, and this piece is 3 1/8 by 3 1/8, and you want 2 of these because you want one on the front and then one for the inside as well. So you want 2 of those, and again, this is soft suede. And then your second layer, this is the inside piece, so we're going to set that off to the side. This buffalo check background is a background stamp from Stampin' Up! I love this, and I have used it so much, more specifically for winter and Christmas cards. So this is a whole background stamp, great to use in your Stamparatus if you have one, or a really big block. So we use the buffalo check background stamp to make our background, and again, this is stamped with our new in color Bumblebee, which is very, very closely similar to crushed curry. So buffalo checked, And that is on the page in the catalog with all of the background stamps. I don't remember what page exactly. And so we're going to take this piece and glue it onto our soft suede piece. And you also want to make sure that you've got a border of your soft suede all the way around, showing through. And some nice thing about this green glue is that it's very forgiving. You've got a little bit of time and wiggle room to move your piece into position where you want it. Okay, and then, so you have your soft suede background showing on all four sides, and you're going to attach this piece to the front of your post-it note holder. And you do want to leave a crushed curry border on all four sides showing. And secure that down when you've got that in position. Okay, and then we have, these are smaller pieces here. Let me check my notes here real quick. Okay, so this soft suede piece, our strip is 5/8 of an inch by 2 5/8. And then this one is, I don't know if you guys can see, we're using another stitched rectangle die. There you go. You can see the stitching all the way around on the edges. And this is one of the smallest, skinniest rectangle dies. And that will actually fit perfect inside this soft suede strip. So we're going to secure this piece to our soft suede strip. This background is actually part left over from doing these. It's a strip. I use up everything, you know. Don't throw it away. Nobody's going to know that's on the back. And even if they do, it's okay. We waste nothing as paper crafters. Okay, and then we're going to glue that down. My fingers. And then we're going to glue this to the back so we can attach it to the front of our notepad holder. You want to make sure you have your base lined up straight. And I like to, if I have it on mine, if there's white, I like to cover that up just so, because we've got our white in the center with our sentiment. So I just like to have some of that yellow showing through on both ends. Okay, we're going to secure that down. This sentiment is called A Little Note, and that one is from Stampin' Up! Stamp Set called Butterfly Gala. Another one of my favorites. I have used several of these a lot. So here is the sentiment, A Little Note, that we're using. And the next project we're going to be using the You've Been on My Mind sentiment. So I actually have used all of these. Yeah, and these are so pretty, these butterflies, and fun to color. Speaking of coloring, we're going to be doing a little coloring on this project. Okay, and then we have our two sunflowers. So it's on one of these, you don't even have to color the leaves because, as you can see, you're not even going to see the leaves on one. So one of them you can just completely leave off. If it's already colored, it's okay. It's not that big of a deal. So we're actually going to go ahead and take one of ours, so you can look and see which one is the better one. You know, if you want to have one, if you like one more than the other. So I think I'm going to glue this one down. And just kind of eyeball. And then we're going to take dimensionals and pop up our other sunflower. So I did 3. And you peel the backings off of your dimensionals. Oh, I didn't get that one. Okay, and then, so you want to make sure that your leaves are pointing to the side, or you can even go up a little bit if you want to go up a little bit. It's completely up to you, and when you've got it right where you want it, go ahead and secure that down. Okay, so that is the front of our Post-it note holder. So before we actually attach our Post-it note pad to the inside, we're actually going to go ahead and finish our other 2 pieces. So I'm going to set this off to the side, and I'm going to do some coloring. So this is our soft suede piece. This is our basically kind of our background for this piece that we're going to put inside. Okay. I'm going to check my notes here to tell you this sentiment. So this sentiment is actually from the sunflower stamp set, I Know You I Loved. So there's a few. Thanks a bunch. Let's celebrate you. And congratulations on reaching a whole new level of wonderful. So we're going to use the Know You Are Loved. And that is stamped in the Memento Black as well as the sunflower. So now I'm going to show you guys how I colored the sunflower. So I'm going to start with the leaves first. And I'm going to have my scrap piece here. So one thing you want to remember is when you're coloring with the Stampin' Blend, they are alcohol-based ink, and they will bleed through your paper. So you want to make sure you have something to protect your work surface or your table. I'm going to fold this in half. Okay, so I have my Stampin' Blend here, and the colors that I'm using today is both light and old olive. I don't know if you guys can see this here. So light and dark old olive, and both light and dark mango melody. And then we have our light pumpkin pie. And I'm going to show you guys how I colored this. I'm missing a color. I'm missing the center. So I will get that in just a moment. Okay. So I'm going to start with my light pumpkin pie. And what I'm going to do is, let's see if I can get this to focus. Bear with me, I have a new camera, and so I have to learn how close to get to the camera for focusing. And I think we're doing okay. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take my pumpkin pie and as close to this end of the petal, but before you get to the center, we're actually going to make a ring of light pumpkin pie all the way around. So kind of think like a lion's mane. And it doesn't have to be precise and perfect. So on the Stampin' Blends, these markers are awesome, you guys. I absolutely love these. We have a brush tip in, and then we have a fine point in. For coloring, most of the time I like to use the brush tip in, unless I'm doing something of a very closed in area, a smaller surface area to color, then I will use the fine tip. But most of the time, the brush tip, and you want to do a nice light pressure. You don't have to push too hard with these, because the harder you push, you will actually end up and like splay your tip in, which you don't want to do. And so I am going to go around the inside just like a lion's mane. Nothing perfect. I'm just making like lines back and forth, kind of like zigzag. And you just kind of go around. I'm going to go around one more time. And then I'm going to go to the fine tip end. So we're going to, you guys can see it's like a pin, like a regular pin side. And I'm going to, on our flower where we have some petals that have the black lines that go through, I'm going to just kind of accent some of those. And you don't have to do every one. You can just do a few. And I'm just going over that. Okay, and then we're done. And again, this one is light pumpkin pie. And so if you want to know what the names are, if you look at the sides of the markers, let me see if I can get this to focus. Maybe come down a little bit. There we go. So right here you can see it says light pumpkin pie. And so all of the Stampin' Blends will tell you that. Let me show you, since we have a light and a dark here. Let's see if we can come into focus. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's dark old olive and light old olive. There we go. So light old olive and then dark old olive. Okay. And then we have our light and dark mango melody. And so I'm going to start with the light mango melody and use the brush tip end. This is where it gets to be really fun and you just feel like you're so artistic and a big artist. This just is super fun. So I'm going to take the brush tip end of my mango melody, my light mango melody, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of drag out, just like I'm coloring that petal. I'm just bringing that color. Now here's the other thing with the Stampin' Blend. The nice thing is this orange, this light pumpkin that we just colored, does not get transferred to your yellow. And so what I'm doing is I'm actually dragging out some of this orange. So I'm kind of spreading or blending the orange in with my yellow. And the nice thing with the blends, and I will pull this closer to the camera to show you guys in a minute, is that you can go over an area as many times as you need to. So these, I call them hard lines of where we made all of this with our orange. You will not be able to see those hard lines by the time we are done coloring. So I'm going to kind of give you an idea of what I'm talking about here. So as you can see, you can still see where this pumpkin pie ends. And so I'm going to keep blending that in some more until you no longer see that hard line of the orange. And so I'm just blending out some of that orange to get more of the varied color on my sunflower. So it's not just a solid yellow or just solid orange, but it's like an orange yellow combined. More realistic of a sunflower, because you know it's not exactly just one hue or one shade of yellow or orange. Sometimes you have multiple hues of the colors. And again, light pressure, you don't want to push too hard because it will splay the end of your Stampin' Blend tip. And these are, I love coloring with these. Okay. And so now, you really can't see the hard lines of that orange in there anymore, but you can see the variation of the hues of the orange within the sunflower. And again, you can go over it as many times as you need to. And now, so that was with the light mango melody. So now I'm going to come in with the dark mango melody. And so as you can see, my chip is already kind of pointing downward, and so that's just, I've colored a lot of sunflowers. So I'm just coming in with some of the darker into the center of each petal, and it's just to add that darker yellowish orange color to the sunflower. I don't know if you guys, I feel like this isn't picking up the true color so you guys can see. It can be hard to see. But this does look more orange in it now. Okay, I think we're going to call that good. And then I'm going to come in with our dark old olive. And this one I am using the fine tip or fine point end. And so in our leaves where we have the veins, where you can see the black, I'm actually going to accent those with this. Not all of them, but a good majority of them. And it's not going to look pretty, but you know what? It'll look much better when it's done. So just to give you an idea, I've just gone over some of those lines. And then we're going to come in with the light old olive, the brush tip end, and I'm just going to fill those leaves in. And you're going to have some of that dark old olive showing through. It just gives a more realistic look to the leaf, like in nature. And there we have our sunflower. Okay, and now I need to go and grab one more Stampin' Blend for the center of our sunflower. Okay, so let me double check my notes to make sure I grab the right color. Okay, so we want to use the light soft suede, and I'm going to use the brush tip end, and we're just going to just fill that in. A lot of times I use the only like brown color we have for Stampin' Blends is called bronze. And I've used that a lot, and I will use that color on the next project. But because we're using the soft suede, I wanted to color coordinate. And so, but I also wanted to have it a little lighter. So I don't know if you guys can tell, but can you see where it's like a ring that's a lot lighter? I didn't do anything but color that. And there wasn't anything that I did special. It's just there, which is kind of a cool effect. But if you wanted to go darker, you can just go over it 2, 3, 4 times to make it just a little darker. It's your personal preference. And so I'm turning this over. See what I was talking about with the alcohol ink markers? They will bleed through your paper. I would hate to have somebody have a piece of furniture ruined for coloring. So always make sure you've got something to protect your work surface. Okay, and then we are done with this piece. So now we're going to glue this piece to our soft suede background. And make sure you have a soft suede border on all 4 sides showing through. Okay, and then we're going to open up our Post-it note holder, and we're going to glue this piece to the inside top piece of our Post-it note holder. Go ahead and glue that down, and you do want to leave a border showing on all the 4 sides. Okay. Almost done. And now you're going to take your Post-it notepad and just turn it over. You want to make sure sometimes these are upside down, because you might look at it and go, oh, it needs to go this way. Well, just find out where it actually goes up so that you know you're gluing the right side down. So this is actually the top, because just like a Post-it note, you want to make sure it's going the right direction. And so we're actually going to glue this piece to the back of our base. And so you want to be kind of liberal because you want this to be secure. So we have our glue. And you're going to line this up. And remember, you do want to leave a border. And you want to get it kind of close to the top, and you can up to that line, that score line, because when you go to fold, you want to make sure. So what I've done is, let's see if you guys can see here. That first score line, I have pretty much butted this up to that score line so that when we fold it, it's butted up to the top of our Post-it note holder base. Okay, and then you want to give that a push to secure that down. It moved. We have a little wiggle room here from the glue. Okay, and there you have your Post-it note holder. Isn't that fun? Okay, now let me double check my notes here and make sure I told you guys everything. So again, we are casing this from Buckeye Inkling, Chris Swogard. And here are the dimensions, which is crushed curry, which is our base here, which is 3 1/4 by 7, and you score at 3 1/4 and 3 5/8. And then the layer 1, which is soft suede, 3 1/8 by 3 1/8, and you need 2 of those. And then we have our whisper white pieces, 3 by 3, and you need 2 of those, and that's this piece and this background piece as well. And then you have your soft suede strip, which is 5/8 of an inch by 2 5/8. And then again, this sentiment piece is the Stampin' Up's stitched rectangle dies. And then your Celebrate Sunflowers. So there is our Post-it note holder. Okay, and thank you so much for crafting with the Crafty Chick. I will see you for the next project. Bye-bye. Love you.